Brothers and sisters, citizens of Eternal Empire, fellow children of our beloved Empress, today we find ourselves at a crossroads, in a time and place not one of us expected to see. For nearly 3 centuries, our people toiled and suffered, gave their blood, sweat, and tears to the Empire in anticipation of this moment, a day when we can finally avenge Mother Earth and all those who perished along with her. To some, it may seem like a pointless endeavor. After all, aside from Her Eternal Majesty, there is no person alive who remembers our old home. But make no mistake, brothers and sisters, everything that happens to us today, every crime or murder aimed against us, is a direct result of a betrayal that happened on the Blue Planet all these ages ago. The act so heinous and vile that to this very day it remains unnamed, for back then, our people, our entire nation has been doomed by those who dared to preach unity and cooperation. The repulsive Eastern Commonwealth, a disgraceful, chaotic conglomerate of thieves and traitors, found a way out of our doomed world, but hid its existence from us. Our beloved Majesty rushed her armies forward, but the Easterners were well prepared, eager to sacrifice lives of their own soldiers if it would only mean that we would never reach safety of the portal. Doom was upon us, but thanks to intervention of Her Eternal Majesty, a new gateway was found, and in a place named after our very race, the Island of Man. The Empress proclaimed this fine mere weeks before the end, and if our people were just as disorganized as Eastern savages, we would have trampled ourselves on the way there. Instead, the evacuation was a model picture of order, ensured by both the Imperial Army and Navy. Still, not even our Empress could fight against time itself back then, and so only 1 billion of her loyal subjects have been evacuated, mostly ones from the core islands, with only a handful of most loyal ones from outer colonies. But it was done. We were saved. We were safe, or so we dreamed. For the world we fled to was not the paradise of peace, prosperity and culture we know today. When our Majesty crossed through the portal, she found a hostile planet of toxic swamps, fetid jungles, vicious wildlife and bloodthirsty savages lurking in every crevice. From the first day of their presence on this world, our ancestors had to fight tooth and nail against the entire planet. But thanks to Imperial discipline, order and Her Majesty's guidance, they have emerged victorious, despite heavy losses and bleak prospects. Humanity survived its exile and became new masters of this world. Our new Earth, one that we all swore to protect with our lives, so that it would never share the fate of its predecessor. It was also during that vicious fight against the nature itself when our Majesty became eternal. It was thanks to her wisdom that we survived these early years, and her devotion to her subjects that made her lead from the front, whether she commanded armies who cleansed New Earth or settlers who would tame it. Over the next 50 years, she was at the forefront of every effort to secure humanity's position on the planet, and if not for her, we would have never made it this far. Once the planet has been tamed, she retired to her new home, the highest point of New Earth, the Imperial Palace at the very peak of Mount Westminster. But it was not the end of her guidance. Our place here has been secured, but our race still had to be rebuilt, and answers had to be found. And to do that, we had to grow and prosper. Over the next century, the guidance of Her Eternal Majesty took us to the skies. There, we found other planets orbiting our very new sun, and, as our beloved Empress predicted, they too were blessed with life, albeit far less dangerous than the one on New Earth. And so, we prospered, we thrived, we explored and expanded our territory, and through it, humanity itself. But always, there was a silent threat. Someone has clearly brought us here, and so we would have to become stronger at any cost to ensure that our fate won't be taken from our hands ever again. And then, thanks to the brightest Imperial minds, we took to the stars, and we immediately remembered that peace and prosperity can be shattered in seconds if we are not strong enough to protect them. They came from galactic south, armadas of alien warships determined to spread the word of their mad god to all corners of the galaxy, at the end of the sword if need be. They looked at us and saw not living thinking beings, but heretical abominations to be purged in flame. But thanks to Her Majesty, a new empire was ready. The Zealots struck time and time again, but despite heavy losses we have endured. More than that, we proved our might to these creatures. When the dust settled after the final battle, we were the ones left standing. Their fleet and armies destroyed, their planets at our mercy. But just as these aliens had no mercy to us, we have shown none to them either. The Empress made it clear, all those who stand against her subjects must perish, for it is the only way to ensure our continued survival. Once again, we thought we were safe. We thought we could prosper and look for answers, but how foolish we were to even dream of that. Years later, like all nightmares and plagues, a scourge came from the east, a bloodthirsty tide of berserkers or ravagers or whatever they style themselves now. Mad and genocidal, their only goal was to extinguish our empire, to burn our walls and our people to ashes. But unlike the Zealots, this scourge was far better equipped, far better trained and more numerous. Their fleets made forays into our territory and billions have died at their merciless hands, but thanks to the guidance of Her Majesty, we eventually prevailed. But a victory it was not. The plague has been broken, driven back to its lands to lick its wounds, but it is still there. It still festers and boils, searching for a way to extinguish hope everywhere it goes. We thought that our destiny would be to stop them. For almost a century we clashed, suspecting that these despoilers may hold the answers we seek. But instead, the answers came to us themselves, and not just from anywhere, but from the most corrupted realm among the stars. You know the message I speak of, and you know who sent it. The traitors we thought to be gone from our lives are here with us, and once more they craft their web of lies in hopes of gaining the upper hand. But no longer. The Empress has predicted such outcome and was able to divine the true meaning of this message. Make no mistake, the otherworldly threat, as they call it, does exist, but it is nothing when compared to imperial might and wisdom of our beloved Majesty. Instead, this message is another lie, crafted solely to prey on fear on all foolish Xenos in this galaxy. The treacherous Commonwealth wishes to unite them, but not against this pathetic excuse of an invasion, but against us, for they must have learned about our existence as well, and once more wish to destroy us. Except this time, it is clear which side is the strongest. Our Imperial forces have been owned in a century of conflict and fought against foes these traitors could never even imagine. And so they wish to deal with us using others, like they did back on Earth. And that, my brothers and sisters, is why Her Imperial Majesty decided to strike first, before the traitors can spin their web of lies and gather allies. The Empire will avenge those abandoned to certain death on our old planet. The Empire will bring the genocidal traitors to justice and remove their corrupting influence from the galaxy and existence itself. As such, as the chosen voice of the Empress, I hereby proclaim total war against the Commonwealth. All Imperial citizens are to report to their nearest court office and await new allocations. Like in a war against the Ravagers, we will all stand, work, and fight side by side until each and every traitor within the Commonwealth is brought to justice. And justice for attempted genocide can be nothing else but death. So to arms, children of Her Majesty. Let us fulfill her dream, let us avenge all those she had to abandon in the firestorm, and let us finally earn peace among these accursed stars. To arms!